Alright, new patch 1.5 released for every single platform Cyberpunk is out on. I recorded roughly 21 minutes of footage yesterday, at which point I immediately uninstalled the game because... oh god, I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but to me... this is on the base PS4, by the way, I probably should have clarified. In my mind and in my hands, as I played this game, there was no doubt that it felt the worst it's ever felt. So I thought I'd just go through what I experienced with my lovely, delicious morning cup of coffee. The city looks... oh my god. Yeah, I'll go through some of the new stuff, the standouts of the patch soon. I just want to point out that this is recorded internally using the PS4's built-in recording system, so it looks slightly worse than it actually does if you were to play it. I was purposely trying to crash into cars here to see if I could create some, I guess some broken moments to see how the cars react, if they react normally, and I don't know, the game felt extra jank. Everything I did with it be crashing into cars, or just walking around, it felt like the game was doing its best to look its worst for this very short recording. So the new patch brought a bunch of stuff, which is great. Things we've been waiting for a while. Unfortunately, if you're playing on an old, well, what is now last-gen console, the experience is very far from ideal. In fact, it almost feels illegally bad. I've been one of those people who gives this game the benefit of the doubt, especially for PS4 and Xbox One, but I don't know, man. There's something about this patch that it really filled me with a serious sense of discomfort while I played. We got new apartments, which is fantastic. I think there's 4 of them, and each one is in a different area of the city. Each one is sort of catered towards, I guess, a specific roleplay style. For example, we've got a corpo-centered apartment, I think obviously in the Corpo Plaza, which looks very nice. There are a couple of items they've added, or a couple of interactions they've added in each apartment for the sake of immersion, whether it be drinking a cup of coffee or lighting some incense they showed in the stream yesterday. You can play a guitar. Obviously, you could still shower, which is another fix they've made. You now shower completely naked instead of fully clothed. I'm just showing you the ad pop in when you turn away and look back. Let me just take a sip of coffee. Oh, my god. Also, apartment customization. You could choose from a couple of different color schemes for each apartment. And when you buy an apartment, it is, of course, just a one-time fee. There's no monthly payments or weekly payments or recurring payments. So they've added new AI as well. Yeah, I'm showing it off. Cars will now drive away in terror if you cause any havoc near them. Also, pedestrians will run away as usual. Except, I guess you'd say a bit more intelligently now. Previously, they'd sort of just cover their faces and scream for their lives and stay in the same spot. There are certain crowd behavioral AI responses that is unfortunately unavailable on the last gen consoles due to, I think Pavel described it as memory limitations, which is completely understandable considering how this game performs. And Jesus, it's not fantastic. It's not even good. I swear to God, it feels worse. Unless it's been so long since I played this game. Maybe I'm just misremembering it. The game has always run this shittily. Lovely vending machine textures, by the way. Only the finest quality JPEGs around. The map screen's got a bit of an overhaul. This is the fast travel screen, so all the icons aren't up. But the selection tool, I think, is different. It's a big circle now, instead of the square. Fixes now function differently. They've sort of layered them in terms of what gigs are available to you at a specific time, so you don't just get overwhelmed by everything immediately. So, for fixes now, you complete the limited selection of gigs available to you. And then once you've done those, new ones will show up, and then once you've done those, new ones will show up, and eventually once you've completed every single one of the gigs, you get a reward. I have no idea what they are because playing this game feels like a nightmare on last gen, and I didn't want to play it for longer than I absolutely needed to in fear of my PlayStation 4 exploding into flames. You can keep track of the gigs left for each fixer on the map. I think you just hover over the fixer's face. What else? Oh, they added a walk button, which is a... Oh, God. By the way, specifically, I'm not editing this footage to showcase just how much weirdness happened in such a short period of time. I didn't record like 4 hours and then highly edit it down. This is just the way the game is. Probably on everything as well, but it's particularly crappy on last gen because of the performance. This is the first time, by the way, I feel that the FPS has actually severely hampered my ability to drive, which I don't recall happening before. Improved AI I've gone through. Oh, they've redone a couple of the perks, because a lot of them, I guess, didn't work at some point, or continued to not work. I didn't really pay attention to that. But there are new perks with new skills. All your skill points, by the way, have been they've been chucked out of all the perks you've invested in. So when you play this game now, post 1.5 patch, you will have to go in and manually reassign all of your perk points. Otherwise, your character will be a weakling. You can't have a weakling in Night City. That's not the way it works. These doors are still locked. Such an immersion breaker. The city, at some points, and from some vantages, looks really, 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 really nice. But of course, that's just in the distance. Up close, things really look as good in this game, both in terms of just aesthetics and functionality. You could now change your appearance in the in-game mirror for free. I'm pretty sure it's free. And unless I'm mistaken, they've added a few new pieces of character customization. Like, I guess new lipstick was one of the things they were very proud of showing off in the live stream. There are a lot of issues in terms of people wanting specific functionality in the game that they have finally added in, like the customization of your appearance that I just mentioned. Another thing that they've added that people have been dying for, climbing up the walls in anticipation, was extended relationships with Judy, Panam, River, and Kerry. Apparently, there are new texts at varying stages of the relationship, and when you're in their apartment, I think not yours, I think they still cannot come over, unless I'm mistaken, there is the option to sleep with them. I don't think there's a cutscene. I think the only actual indication that this has happened is you waking up the next morning with them lying next to you. No hot, saucy, steamy action here. No hotness. I mean, we already have those cutscenes, but I guess they'd have to go through a bunch more hoops with the motion capture team for any new scenes. By the way, the cars still handle really, 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 really weirdly. Especially this one. What is this? Mai? The Mai? I don't know, man. Oh, here we go. I'm just showing how long it takes for the menu to pop back in when you drive at any speed above elderly lady walking down the road with a severe back cramp. Yeah, something weird happened here. Everything, like I said, seemed to just function slightly worse than it has ever functioned in the short recording. For example, the cars would spaz out from being knocked into them. Being knocked into them. There he goes. I will say the new vehicle AI in response to distress is pretty good. Back in the My spot. Okay. I forgot about this. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. I think the car just sort of drove up into the front of mine. Either way, that ain't right. Lordy, that ain't right. Delicious. What else do we have? in the old patch highlights. Oh, another thing that I was incredibly thankful for upon gearing was the ability to reject non-essential holo calls. Thank you, God. Finally, you're no longer inundated with every single person, every single fixer who just wants to get your attention, ask you how you're doing, have you go over to an apartment and kill somebody, for some eddies, obtain a piece of rare technology, some more of the vehicle AI. Yeah, by the way, that's a nice angle. That's a nice angle, Mr. Cameraman. Thank you, me. In addition, on the same note as the holo calls, they have apparently fixed. I haven't had time to test this out, and I don't really want to because this game is not. It's not good. I keep saying this, but it's really, really not good. And in fact, the footage actually looks slightly better than how it feels playing. It might look okay, but I always say the same thing when you've got that controller in your hand. I'm just going through the settings here. I was checking to see what my vehicle settings were at, and I think they were at probably not the most ideal settings for driving a vehicle. So my logic was, hey, turn up the turning delay. That'll fix the driving problem. It didn't. I probably gotta fiddle with that a bit more. But I'm not going to because this game is now removed from my PlayStation. I spent an evening downloading it just to record 20 minutes, realize nothing has changed. In fact, it feels a bit worse. When I say nothing has changed, I don't mean things they've added. I mean the way the game feels. And then I swiftly uninstalled it. That's 59 gigabytes just down the toilet. Yeah, here's a better view with the new map. I say new, but it's mostly just the icons that are new. I think what they've done for gigs and some other side quests is that they've made them kind of more mysterious. So you're gonna have to show up in person, fashionably on time, fashionably late, whatever you want. This is Night City. You do what suits you. Once you arrive, then you find out the details. So you don't get too much information from just scrolling over the icon on the main menu. I think they've also reduced vehicle prices, and they've definitely allowed you or given you the option to mute the Night City Police Department dispatcher. And I think by default they have disabled that. But they have enabled holo calls. I forgot to mention what happens if you reject a phone call. You get a text message that you can respond to in your own time. Oh god, you can really see it chugging away here. Ooh, man! There's some parts of the game where it runs kind of okay, but those are mostly in the, I guess, the more isolated parts of the city where there's not much traffic, there's not many buildings. What's this guy doing over here? There it goes. Like I said, it's been so long since I played this game, I don't even know if this is normal or if this is new. I'm seeing a lot of reports online of police chases between or with the gangs, and I think there was actual footage of a group of gang members actually following V in their car for a bit. So that is a tremendous improvement in terms of the vehicle AI, in the sense that there now seems to be any sort of discernible vehicle AI, which is just hallelujah. Hallelujah! Pavel was being very cheeky during the stream yesterday. He was hinting that they've added a few little secrets. A little secrets that he wasn't willing to divulge or even put in the patch notes. He emphasized that, okay, guys, you want to find the stuff? Then you really just gotta download the game and play it for yourself and find it, because it's a secret. Shh, even though the secret's fun, it'll be posted on the internet and everyone will know it. Traffic density feels the same. Render in time, level of detail feels the same. The worst part to me, the part that feels like it's actually gone downhill, it feels like the FPS. has taken a dive by about... I don't have any technical means of measuring the actual frames per second, but it really feels worse. Just show the ads popping in again. This coffee's amazing. So would I recommend this on base PS4? Would I say go for it? There are only 2 instances where I would recommend this game on this platform, or I guess Xbox One, although I hear that's worse, somehow. The only 2 instances I would recommend Cyberpunk 2077 on base PS4 are you are incredibly desperate to play this game, and your only means of playing it is on a base PS4, or B, you are the world's biggest masochist. It's not a good time. Lord, it ain't a good time. I think there's a moment coming up in a few minutes where I thought the game looked its best and ran its best in this entire 20-ish minute recording. And all it was just like a back alley with one light and a dumpster. But once again, because there wasn't much actually happening, the game could breathe. My PlayStation could look at me and go, oh, thank you. Thank you for not putting me through more of City Center. See, that's another thing. Like, I recall actually saying in a previous video, I may be misremembering, I may have just said this to someone on Discord or something, but I remember saying with great clarity that City Center ran a lot better than it used to. And now I'm back to saying City Center is absolute hell. Don't go there. Even though it's really pretty and we got the giant fish. Don't go there. Don't go there. Your brain and your PlayStation will thank me later. I can only recommend this game for people with PCs that can run it. And obviously next-gen consoles. Well, I suppose it's current-gen. Current-gen now. PS5, Xbox Series X, Series S. Jesus, can you imagine this game trying to run on the Nintendo Switch? Oh god, the horror. But as far as I'm concerned, the last-gen version of the game is... It's irredeemably bad. And this is coming from a guy who was positive and had the most... Oh, by the way, this is the area where the game felt and looked the best. It's just this little back area. And then you step back onto the street, and then you start walking around, you get into a car, and things just go back to shit. What was the thing? I think it was saying that this last gen version of the game, it's not worth it. It's not worth the money. Even if it's on sale, it's not worth it. Not worth it. Genuine honest opinion. I'm not trying to be one of those people that just shits all over the game. I don't think I've ever been one of those people, but hey, cars surfing. Honestly, I'm just speaking from the heart here. Speaking from the heart. I think it's testing the vehicle panic AI. A couple of sound glitches here too, where my bullets were coming out, but the sound was delayed by like 2-3 seconds. Oh yeah, NPCs can now potentially die in car crashes if they come into contact with another car or wall with too much force, just like real life. Now that's immersion. You get in the car and then where's the guy gone? He's right outside. I guess he just teleports. Also, I don't think he's dead. He's sort of flailing around slightly there, like a fish recently chucked out of a small body of water. In addition to all the crap I mentioned that they put in the patch, the new additions, obviously we've got the usual bug fixes. And I guess another important feature that they've added for immersion is the fact that club music is now louder to enhance the vibe of Night City's exotic nightlife. Oh man. The pop-in. You'll see in a bit, in case it hasn't been made abundantly clear to you by now, how this game runs. On a base PS4, you'll see what I mean very soon. When I say it's unforgivably bad. This should, really not have been sold on what is now last-gen consoles. So here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, almost... Oh. Okay. Almost 10 seconds to pop in and still not fully rendered in. That woman's drinking the finest quality air Night City has to offer. This whole area, it's always felt very chuggy. I guess there are too many lights, too many objects, too many people. PS4 can't handle it. So yeah, as we come to the end of the video, oh my god, this guy looked like a mannequin. Yeah, pointing guns at people still makes him do that. There's some crowd AI, but the fully upgraded version, like I said, is not in last gen console, unfortunately. So yeah, that's my opinion and my unscripted thoughts on the 1.5 patch for the base PS4. Final verdict: don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it unless you have a PC that can handle it or a next gen console.